Hello everybody, welcome to Playing With Issues. Today I am reviewing Resident Evil 6, the highly anticipated sequel to the successful Resident Evil 5. There's a lot of good and a lot of bad about this game. Is Resident Evil 6 worth getting, or just like any other third-person shooter out there? We're gonna find that shit out right now. Storyline. Shit, I gotta read? The story is told from the perspectives of three pairs of characters that you can all play as. So there are three campaigns that you can play in the game. Chris Redfield and Pierre Nevins, two members of the BSAA, Leon S. Kennedy and Helena Harper, two agents for the US government, Jake Mueller, who is the illegitimate son of Albert Wesker, and Sherry Birkin, who is all grown up from Resident Evil 2 and has also become a government agent. Last but not least, you can unlock Ada Wong's campaign, who is behind the scenes during many parts of the game, and at other times in the game, just straight up in your grill. At times during the game, the characters' respective story intersect with each other, providing a better understanding of the chaos that goes on in the game. Nothing from the story is absolutely mind-blowing, but there are some pretty interesting things that happen throughout the game, such as the president dying and a pretty important city getting bombed the fuck out of. If you wanted to describe the story in one word, it would be fucking crazy. But this is Resident Evil after all, so all things considered, as ridiculous as everything that happens in the game is, it works to an extent. Gameplay. Just press the fucking button! Resident Evil 6, no matter how much Capcom will try to convince you that it's a survival horror game, it really isn't. At least most of the time, it definitely plays like an action-paced third-person shooter, which is really unfortunate considering how oversaturated the video game market is with games of that particular genre. However, Leon's campaign at most times plays pretty closely to the classic survival horror genre that Resident Evil became famous for, which is a pretty big plus in my opinion. I'm not gonna lie, there were times during Leon's campaign that I screamed like a total bitch, which is what I think everybody wants in a Resident Evil game. Oddly enough, Leon's campaign was the only one out of the three main campaigns that actually features zombies. That's pretty weird. So while Resident Evil 6 plays like a third-person shooter, the game is littered with sequences that require quick-time cutscenes, which usually consist of you moving your analog stick in a certain direction or pressing a particular button at a particular time to progress. Is that a bad thing? I personally don't think so, but when it becomes so noticeable that there are quick time events for almost everything that happens to your characters in the game, it can quickly become a concern for some people. But the reason why I bring that up is because there are several moments in the game in which you can absolutely not progress without doing what the quick time event is telling you. Anybody up for some rope climbing? Graphics. Yes, I can see all the pixels. The game honestly looks pretty fucking awesome. The character models look great. The zombie/Javo look pretty intimidating even as you're blowing bits and pieces off their body parts with a hailstorm of bullets. The bosses and special monsters look very threatening and menacing and at times pretty damn disturbing. The cutscenes look well done, and even the QuickTime cutscenes are worth your praise. All in all, it's a pretty damn good looking game and a step up from the other piece of shit that was Operation Raccoon City. Fuck that game. Soundtrack. Shh, this is my favorite song. Honestly, the soundtrack is not too memorable for most, if not all, the moments that occur in the game. But they all fit. It all works, even if it's not absolutely and remarkably awesome. No songs in the game, no matter how frustrating the situation, rope climbing, becomes annoying or repetitive. I guess the only complaint I really have is that there's no real music that stands out in my mind. No matter what part of the game I'm playing, whether it be Leon's, or Chris's, or Jake's campaign. What I loved, I fucking love this game. This game can be ridiculously fun, even when you're playing by yourself. And if you have a competent partner, the fun to be had becomes ridiculously greater. co-op gameplay is definitely the highlight of this game for me, as I've beaten Leon's and Jake's campaign with a partner and had so much fun doing so, in spite of the two particular moments in each respective campaign that just made me flip shit. That will be covered in the next section. I gotta love that each chapter is a little more than an hour long, so with 5 chapters in each character's campaign, you got tons of hours to kill beating each campaign, and therefore even more replayability when you decide to play the game again. What really sucked? Fuck this shit! What was really good with that cover system, Capcom? You tried so hard to make this an action, third-person shooter like every other game out there, and you couldn't make a decent fucking cover system? Come on, that should be the standard for every fucking shooter that comes out. And I personally didn't like the boss battles. A lot of them dragged on for more than 10 minutes. You can't make boss battles like that. People get bored. They should be epic and challenging, not so frustrating you're trying to figure out what to do with a limited amount of ammo and a mentally impaired chip for a partner. And why are all the enemies in this game so fucking strong? I remember the days when one headshot was all it took to take down a zombie or whatever the fuck you were fighting, and at times during this game it would take 2 to 4 headshots just to kill somebody. What the fuck? And oh, the suspension of disbelief within this game is fucking stupid. The suspension of belief is defined as the temporary acceptance of believable events or characters that would ordinarily be seen as incredible. Yeah, the stuff that the characters you play as manage to survive in this game is out of this world, to the point where you are saying, what in the blue fuck did I just see these guys survive? And let me talk about my biggest gripe with the game. This fucking piece of shit right here. This left trigger, right trigger, left trigger sack of shit game mechanic that I spent more than 10 minutes trying to get on the next part. Why the fuck was this shit even put in the game? Who the fuck wants to rope climb in the middle of a city getting fucked in the ass with the C virus? Come on, are you fucking serious? Are you trying to piss people off, Capcom? Cause you did that just fine with this fucking stupid game mechanic that there was no way to progress without figuring out how to do this bullshit. Your partner, if he was lucky and already knew how to do this shit, could go on without you, and you would be forced to still have to climb to the top of that fucking rope to progress to the next part of this fucking chapter. And Leon's campaign wasn't the only campaign to feature this piece of shit, stupid game mechanic. The last 5 minutes of Jake's campaign featured it too. And if I hadn't already gone through the bullshit of doing Leon's fun activity of rope climbing, God knows how long I would have been stuck on that god-awful part of Jake's campaign. God damn it! I had to go on YouTube to figure out how to do that shit. YouTube! Many thanks to Orpheus Frost. To fucking learn how to left trigger, right trigger, left trigger up that motherfucking rope. What kind of bullshit is this, Capcom? Fuck you, Capcom. Fuck you with a... Final thoughts. Shit's gonna get real. All in all, Resident Evil 6 is a third-person shooter. The storyline and characters aren't much to care about unless you're a fan of the series. The game has its flaws, but it definitely has its moments of utter awesomeness. I'm not going to give this game a rating because I want my reviews to be different from every other person who reviews video games. But I am going to judge the games I play on the criteria of a recommendation. I would recommend this game if you love the Resident Evil franchise, you love third-person shooters, and you have a buddy willing and able to play with you on a regular basis. Otherwise, this game is at the very least worth a rental that may or may not leave a bad taste in your mouth. If this review helped you in any shape or form, leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe to my channel. Every view, every like, every comment, and every subscription helps my channel grow and fuel my motivation to make more videos. Thanks for watching.